Good morning. Everybody well caffeinated? If not, we do have coffee in the back, and I promise we will be refilling that throughout the day. I know it's the first day, and I appreciate you coming out and spending it with Amazon. My name is Dave. I'm a developer evangelist for Amazon, and basically my job is to help you be successful with Amazon customers. So that means connecting with our customers, whether it's writing apps that are hosted in the Amazon App Store, whether it's taking advantages of things like Amazon Web Services and all the ways that you can scale and you can run analytics in your own games, regardless of what platform that's on. I'm actually based in the East Coast. I'm out of the Philadelphia area. Anybody here from East Coast? Yeah, that winter storm was fun coming out, right? I flew off, like they had to de-ice the plane. That was a little scary. I've never flown off in an actual ice storm, but I made it here. Weather here is beautiful. I'm so happy to be here. I travel around the world, so you'll see me all over the place. That's my Twitter and my email. I want you to think of me as a person that can connect you with whatever you're interested in Amazon. So I work directly with the product teams. If you've got a question on Fire TV, Kindle, Fire Phone, the new Amazon Echo, you can look at me to be a voice for you. You can look at me as somebody who can help you with code, SDK samples, any of that. I'm more than happy to connect with you. So I'm the Day Dev on Twitter, and I'm Izbitsky at Amazon. As far as industry experience, I've been an evangelist for 10 years. Before Amazon, I was at Microsoft. I worked on Xbox and Windows Phone. Lifelong gamer, child of the 80s. Any old Commodore or Amiga fans, right? Yeah, that's how I started. So it was all BASIC and then some C in my Amiga, running BBSs back then and all that kind of stuff. So absolute pleasure to be here with you today. This is what the day looks like. I'm going to start off giving you an overview of our App Store and our actual Amazon Fire devices. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up two people. I'm going to bring up Alf and Vlad over here. These guys work directly in the games industry. They have very successful games in the store. And you're going to hear directly from them what they've seen happening, what's been successful with customers. So we'll mix it up a little bit this morning. You'll hear me talk for a little bit, and then we'll do a nice little Q&A panel. Then Jesse's going to come up, and he's going to talk about Unity games on Fire devices, including Fire TV. Do we have any Unity developers here? Okay, awesome. And then we're going to do a session. Peter's going to do a session on how to evolve players into fans, some of the things he's seen that's been successful around building a community for games. We are going to have a lunch here, so if you want to stick around at noon, it's going to be a free catered lunch. So you're welcome to come and eat with us, and we can all kind of hang out and chat. And then at 12:30, we're going to have Tara and Dora from AWS are going to come up, and they're going to talk about mobile games with something called AWS Mobile Services. So you'll find out a lot about how that can help your games, regardless of what platform they're on. Then we're going to have a session from Mike. This is a really fun session. I've actually seen him. I've seen the content he's going to have in here, and I think you'll enjoy it. It's called How We Made a Game No Fun, and it's going to get into really the psychology behind, as gamers, why we all feel engaged or don't feel engaged with a certain type of game. And then Nate's going to come up, and Nate's going to get down into the weeds around AWS analytics, around really scaling out multiplayer games, all of that, how you can use AWS to really take your game to the next level. And then we're going to have some folks from Twitch are going to come up here. They're going to give you an overview of what they've seen with Twitch, how they've seen games and game developers connect directly with customers. And then we're going to do a Q&A with Twitch. So if you have any questions that you want to ask those guys, right now feel free to tweet. Amazon App Dev is the account over Twitter. I'll be collecting those throughout the day, and then I'll go ahead and I'll ask them later on. Sound good? All right. And then at the end, you can see right up here, I've got 4 Fire TVs. I've got 4 Fire TV sticks, and it looks like 2 Fire phones. And what we're going to do is there's going to be a little survey link at the end of each session As long as you fill out one of those survey links, we're going to give you a raffle ticket. Those raffle tickets, at the end of the day, I'll be giving away all of this free hardware. Okay? So let's kick it off with the Amazon App Store ecosystem. What I'm going to cover is I'm going to talk a little bit about how, as a developer, you can submit an app to that system, how you can sell in that system. I'm going to walk through the devices. So I'm going to talk about the new Fire tablets we just launched this fall. I'm going to talk about Fire TV and Stick, and then Amazon Echo, and we'll end it with Alf and Vlad coming up. Is there anybody here who owns an Amazon Fire tablet or a Fire TV? Okay, great. We also, if you don't, we do have devices out there that you'll be able to play with. So feel free, if you haven't seen the Fire TV or the tablet, you can have free reign of the device out there today. So right now, the Amazon App Store is available to millions of Android customers in 236 countries and territories worldwide. So this is a huge reach. We actually have over 300 apps in the Amazon App Store. The App Store is part of all of our devices, so you're going to see it included right out of the box with Fire Phone, Fire tablets, and TV. But it's also included and preloaded on BlackBerry 10 devices, lots of Android phones from HTC, LG, Motorola, and Samsung, as well as Samsung and LG tablets. So if you have an Android APK today, whether you've built that in Unity or any other kind of platform, you can take that for free, upload it to our App Store, and then begin connecting with millions of Amazon customers across both Android and Amazon devices. We also have an Amazon mobile shopping app. Does anybody have this on their Android device? Okay, I see a lot of people nodding their heads. So this app, you can get this directly from Amazon. This becomes a single place for customers to shop all things physical and digital goods. So if you've been an Amazon customer for a long time, and I was even before joining the company, I may have ordered something, from 10 years ago, and then all of those recommendations increase over time. So if today I was to go into the Amazon mobile shopping app, and maybe I'm going to look for something around hiking or camping, you're going to see recommendations for apps that also do hiking and camping. So it's really bridging physical and digital goods, and customers like to see that. They love how those recommendations come to the top. So your apps are going to be merchandised and surfaced wherever customers are searching inside this app. This is an actual picture. This is my Moto X phone. It's running Lollipop, and you can see right here in the center we have got something for indie games in the carousel. And if I swipe from the left, you'll see I get all the information about my game. So I get categories, I get top of the charts, and then I could also scroll through here and I'll get physical goods as well as Amazon Instant Video. So you can see the reach of the Amazon ecosystem here across the shopping app and across devices. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's talk specifically about the developer program. If you're a game developer and you have an Android-based game and you want to get that in front of Amazon customers, you're simply going to go to the portal, which is at developer.amazon.com/apps. You'll see that again and again today, and you'll see it on these signs. And we have one button right in the center. You can see it says Browse, and it says Upload your APK here. So you don't have to be registered at all. You don't have to give us any information. In fact, if you just want to use this to test, go right ahead. What we've actually done is we've built a warehouse of devices. So we have Fire tablets, we have Fire phones, all of the different generations sitting in a warehouse, and when you load your APK, we run that against all of those devices for you. So for free, you'll get a detailed report. It'll be all the analytics on how your Android APK is working. So if there's any errors, you're going to see a nice stack trace that you can go ahead and take down, and you'll see all of that information in there. We also have something called Amazon Coins. So this is a virtual currency across all of the devices that the store is running on. And customers can buy coins at a discount. They can gift coins to other people. And they're also rewarded coins for doing things inside the App Store. So for example, there may be a sale on a particular game. Just for downloading that game, I get 100 coins. Currently, they're about equal to US pennies. So 100 coins is basically $1. They can take those coins and they can use them to purchase inside your game. So as you see more and more of these games throughout the entire ecosystem, so for example, Hearthstone, this was an advertisement Blizzard had showing all of the Amazon coins. You can get discounts on packs. You can directly take all of that, and then that flows back into the ecosystem, and that flows through your games. All right, so Amazon Coins is a very unique way that helps promote your games within the store. Everything is Android 4.2.2 compatible and up. So API 17, both the Fire TV and the phone are API 17. The tablets will support as high as API 19, and we've announced that we're going to be going to 19 for the phone as well early this year. It works with any kind of developer environment you're using today, so Android Studio, Xamarin, Unity, and over 75% of the apps we've tested, they just work. So this is what it would look like in Android Studio. You're just continuing work like you normally would in your development environment. But then I'm going to add this URL. It's basically an S3 bucket that has the addon.xml, and then you'll see everything will come down for both the TV and the phone. This includes all the documentation, includes a bunch of game samples. It includes plugins for Unity, so things like head tracking, in-app purchasing, all of that. And then if I want to use the SDK for things like the Amazon Ad Network or things on iOS, you can do all of that through the URL you see at the top. Does that make sense? Okay. Anybody here using Xamarin? Okay, so Xamarin is just super easy. API level 17 and you're done. And those guys have actually written components for everything. So you'll see there's a component for Fire Phone, Fire OS, and Fire TV. You'll get that directly when you go right-click and you say Add Component. Submission. You log into the portal. You basically say New App. You select Android. You fill out a submission form for category. And then you upload your APK. That's it. We try to make this as streamlined as possible. For all of your imagery, for all of your videos, all of your background information, if you have an app on Google Play or you have it somewhere else, you can just take all of that information. You can bring it right in here. We also have device targeting. So you can have one APK for every version of the game you want. Maybe you want one on TV that uses controllers. Maybe you want one on phone. Maybe you want one specific on tablet. You can do all of that, and when you update one version, you don't have to update them all. All right? So you have the ability, however you want to go ahead and update things, right here in the console. Here is our mobile app SDK. So this is cross-platform. This is going to give you things like device messaging, A/B testing. It's going to allow in-app purchasing, mobile device management, and all of that. So here's an example of the Amazon Mobile Ads Network. We currently have ads in the US, UK, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. It supports both banner and interstitial formats. And in fact, if you add the ads today to any of your games, you go and see the Amazon ads team at their booth, they will give you a $100, yes, it's $100 Amazon gift card while this conference is going on. So that's worth checking out too. If you've got a game, it's really easy to go ahead. It's just a couple lines of code. This is what the in-app purchasing looks like. So everyone who is using and buying an app from Amazon is logged in with their Amazon account. So they get that Amazon branded experience. If I go ahead and I go to purchase, you'll see right here it's the familiar Amazon colors. You can see it says Amazon app. I can turn on child controls. I can turn on security. All of that, I just have the ability to purchase my app. And then what happens, because we're combining digital and physical goods, when you go into your order history on Amazon, you're now going to see a tab that has both physical and digital. So you'll see every purchase that you had. You'll see things like in-app purchasing as well as the apps and the games that you buy. And then we have an API game circle that works across everything. So here you're seeing it run on Fire TV with a Fire TV controller. In fact, there's a game circle button in the middle. And what this does with a couple lines of code, it allows you to add leaderboards, it allows you to add achievements and gamer profiles to all of your games. So when an Amazon customer is logged in, it's automatically running off of their Amazon ID, and then it pulls up all of their game history. It also allows them to discover friends that they want to compare achievements with and play games with. Does that make sense? Okay. So Fire tablets, this fall, We actually released a $100 tablet. It's under $100. It's $99. When we run sales, this has been as low as $79. This is a quad-core Snapdragon Android tablet running KitKat. So from a gaming performance, this gives you a lot of ability at a price point that is very affordable compared to what's in the market. And in fact, one of the things we did this year too is we added profiles on top of the tablets, and we released a kids edition. So for both the 6-inch and the 7-inch, what you're seeing here, everybody see the big rubber case? So if a family buys this tablet, and for whatever reason, the tablet, let's say, gets thrown in a toilet, and it no longer works, we replace that device for free, no questions asked, for 2 years. And so customers have the ability, the same apps and games, they can get your games on tablet, they can get it on phone and TV, and now to a person in their family, they can go ahead, very affordable, hand them a tablet, and they have access to the same apps and games, as well as that guarantee. And then we also did something called Free Time. So think of this like a subscription model, where typically you would consume content. We do this for Kindle. Anybody have a Kindle e-reading device? I see people nodding their heads. We do this for apps and games as well. And this also includes books, TV shows, and movies. So if you are a Prime customer, this is basically $1.99 a month. You get one of these devices, you hand it to your family member, and they can pull down apps and games. There's categories. So I have 2 little girls at home. They can literally go in there and they can look by Dora, right? They can look by, there's a princess category, and they can pull all of that down. And in fact, if you're interested in getting into this program, we do have people in this room that'll be here today that can talk about what it's like publishing into this program. And customers love this. I could tell you as a dad, I just pay a little bit of money a month, and I set the age category. So I'll say 3 to 7, and then that's it. I don't have to worry about it. They can pull down books, apps, and games, and it's a great way for your content to be discovered. So these are the price points. You can see we have everything from $99 up to $379. What's important to remember is all of these are quad-core processors, and they're all running KitKat. Make sense? Okay. So phone. Fire Phone is another device we offer. It runs the same exact store, and it offers 2 unique things that aren't available in any other phone. The first is dynamic perspective. So there's 4 cameras. Everybody see the 4 cameras on the corners there? Basically, what it's doing, it's not tracking face. There's no face detection. It's doing the position of a head in comparison to the glass screen. So I can move my head, or I can move the device. In this example, if I turned, you'd see the entire map in 3D. And this gives you the ability to create immersive games. For example, Tofu Fury. You can literally play the game by looking around into the level. And there's just a lot of exciting prospects when you look at game design with this technology. If you haven't seen the phone, I have my phone with me, and we do have phones outside as well. There's an SDK around this, and you can add it to your own games. And then we also offer Firefly. So Firefly, think of Firefly as a way to digitally describe real-world physical objects based on the information Amazon has about those objects. So I could go around, for example, here I'm walking through the street and I see a sign. It has character recognition. I can hold the phone up, and it's parsing automatically the phone number, and it's parsing the information for a URL. I could also do this with a book. I could do this with laundry detergent, any of those kind of things. It's going to pull in the information, and it's going to give me a card. So you can imagine how you can integrate that within your own apps. Firefly in the fall, for that high-end tablet that you saw, the 8.9-inch one, we've also added Firefly support there as well. And then Fire TV and Fire TV Stick. So this is an Android-based console. It's priced at $99. It comes with a remote. It has full voice capabilities. So if I hold that button down at the top, I can actually say Bill Murray, and it'll go find every single Bill Murray movie. I don't have to go through and type everything in. And it comes with an optional game controller. So one of the games that recently released that was one of my favorite PC games was Knights of the Old Republic. Anybody remember that game? You can now play that on Fire TV on the big screen with a game controller. And you know what? If you've bought that game from Amazon for any of your devices, your tablets or phones, it'll just work on TV too. It's the same exact app store. Incredibly powerful. So it's an Adreno 320 GPU and 2 gigs of RAM. So you can push all the pixels to the screen that you would want. And then we also offer another option for customers that's $39. So this is the Amazon Fire TV Stick. Has the same exact storage, and it has the same exact app store. So I have the ability to run all of those same apps and games. And it's a stick that plugs into my HDMI port. So lots and lots of things for you to be able to reach customers with your games. You're going to want to think when you're building for TV, and Jesse's going to do this in the next session, what you need to think about being remote friendly, what a controller looks like, right? I won't go into capturing events too much and all this because Jesse's going to go a little bit into this. But the good news is that if you've got a device today, if you're targeting 1080p, we scale that automatically down for you on the TV. So how many people here like writing multiple Android resolutions, right? Just do 1080p and you will work in everything in our store. All right? Just remember things like color gamut. We're all used to these beautiful devices that reproduce color really great. When you get that on a TV screen, depends on how old that TV is, right? Or what the color settings are. You ever want to see that, go to like a store and see what people have set. You want to think about cool colors, like your blues, your purples, and your grays. They're always going to be better than your warms. And then when you're coding, you're just going to look for touch screen, no touch. Right? So now you have one ecosystem, completely free. You can distribute your apps and games to Amazon customers around the world, and you can distribute it across all of these different devices using one single APK or 2 APKs. Does that make sense? Okay. My last piece is something called Amazon Echo. How many people have heard of Amazon Echo? All right. If you haven't, just go to Amazon. You'll see it on there. I'm going to talk a little bit about it. This is what it looks like. All right. So it looks like a Bluetooth speaker. It's about this big. You'll see a little light at the top. The blue light will go on when the device is listening to you. And you get to call the device either Alexa or Amazon. The default is Alexa. So in this example, I would say, Alexa, hello, and she would respond immediately, hi, or how are you doing, right? And what this is using is something called spoken language understanding. And we just lost one of the good ones with Spock, right? And so this kind of thing directly takes me into Star Trek. I have one of these in my house, and I can walk in both my kitchen or dining room and go, Alexa, will it snow tomorrow, right? I could say, Alexa, what's the weather in San Francisco? I could say, Alexa, play music by Bruno Mars. And it'll sort together a streaming music list for me. This is tied into things like Intune and other music streaming services. This is tied into your own music collection. And basically what this becomes is the ability for you to just ask, I want this to be computer so bad, right? Computer, what time is it? But it's just like that. It's literally anything you want to ask. It's plugged into Wikipedia and other things. And I want you to think of this as a funnel into the cloud. So rather than using a device, rather than using a web browser, this is all running on AWS, meaning we can upgrade this stuff over time. This is going to continue to grow and grow. But now we have this natural interface in everyone's home that they can simply speak to. The device is $99 for Amazon Prime customers and $199 for non-Prime customers. And I'm happy to announce we just created a beta SDK so you can write your own apps and games for Amazon Echo. I think there's a lot of potential here. I can't talk about the exact specs of what languages those will be, but I will be. You'll see me blogging about that and tweeting about that in the coming months. Simply go to that developer portal, developer.amazon.com Echo, and you can sign up today. And just the idea is, I'm gonna geek out a little bit here, but growing up and playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? This thing is gonna be great as a dungeon master, right? I see other people shaking their head, or Zork. You know, you say, Alexa, play Zork, and then you walk in and it says, all right, you're in a room. There's a troll here. You can go left or right. You can say, go right, right? You could tell this thing to play jokes. All the time I go, Alexa, tell me a joke. And they're super corny. And I can't help but laugh at super corny jokes, especially with my kids around. But, you know, there's just so much potential here. So I would love to get your feedback on where you see Echo going, and I'd love to see you sign up. And this was a recent survey that was done that basically says, hey, I'm not here to tell you guys to only write for Amazon. We're part of that Android ecosystem. So if you're thinking about targeting Android, I don't know if anybody's seen this study, right? This is the poverty line. Does everybody know what the poverty line is? It is making less than $500 a month off your app or game. So on Android devs, it's about 60%. iOS, it's well over 50%. You see only 10% are making more than $25,000 a month. But you'll see if you're a developer who's on other platforms and on Amazon, you will be much closer to being above that poverty line. So developer.amazon.com apps. And with that, I'm going to invite up Vlad and Alf. Come on up, guys. By the way, if you want to get into the raffle for the devices, it's just a bit.ly link, Amazon GDC 1. And then through the day, you're going to see GDC 2, GDC 3. Okay. Everybody doing good? All right. So I thought this would be really cool because I get to speak to a lot of interesting people at Amazon, and you guys don't, right? So if we're at a conference like this, what better way than to put them in the hot seat and let them speak a little bit. And I want to start off with Vlad. Vlad is the CEO of G5 Games. Has anybody here played G5 Games? You'll see those a lot in the store. In fact, I think you have like 90-plus games, right?
Yeah, we have 100 total over all platforms. I think on Amazon we have like 70 of those.
Yep. So Secret Society and all those other kind of puzzle games, you'll see a lot of them coming through. So Vlad's one of us, right? Vlad started out as a game programmer, and he's been on this journey to CEO and co-founder. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, like I guess most of the game development studios, ours was funded by a few guys, few programmers. I was one of them. And in the early days, you just code. That's what you do. Then you realize you have to take care of some other functions if you want to grow. So we split the responsibilities at some point. I got to be the CEO. Somebody had to run the business. And a few years later, we have 200 employees in 5 countries. The company is actually publicly listed in Stockholm. And, I had to take care of a lot of things during this time. I had to start wearing a jacket at some point. I stopped programming a few years into the company's existence, and then took care of pitching company services to publishers back when we were a contract developer, signing those deals, then forming marketing department, and kind of setting up the processes within the company. Yeah, it's been quite a journey for me personally.
Awesome. So, Alf, you've got a really cool title at Amazon. You are the head of games business development. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell me what your team does.
Sure. We mostly just have meetings at GDC. Yeah. So what does my team do? I think if you take a step back, Amazon endeavors to be the Earth's most customer-centric company. And for my team, our customers are gamers and game developers like yourself. So what we try to do for gamers is to deliver fun, right? To get them engaged and playing on our platforms and our ecosystem. And for game developers, what we're trying to do here is to connect them with these gamers and to also help you improve your ROI to reach these high-value Amazon customers that Dave's been talking about.
Awesome. So you've got a great audience here, and it's my understanding you have some team members here. Is it okay if we have some people in the audience maybe stand up if you recognize any faces?
Yeah, I do. I think there's a couple here. The light's shining right in my eyes, so I can't see very well.
If you're on Alf's team or your organization, you want to stand up? These
we have
are,
Japan, BDMs from Japan over there.
there we go.
Oh.
Oh, in the back?
Hey, Scott. How's it going?
Great, thanks for coming out. So these people are here. They're at our Dev Day. They're at GDC. If you don't have a connection with someone in the business development group for games at Amazon, I've invited these people out at the event to be able to connect with you. So Vlad, you've got some great history behind G5 Games, and you've been with us from the very start, from that original Kinderfire. So can you talk a little bit about why Amazon? What got you started with the Amazon App Store early on?
Yeah, well, I used to buy a lot of books from Amazon, like for many years. You know, books about game development and whatnot. And then at some point, I saw my wife using one of the, I think it was one of the early, the ink display devices
Right.
to read her books. And I thought, you know, at some point, maybe these devices can run the games. Then I saw that there were some early games on that platform, but that didn't really work for that kind of graphics
Yep.
that we have. So I was really excited when I saw the announcement that we have that you have this color device upcoming, and I was excited because I thought they have all these customers, like millions of people, with their credit card details stored, ready to purchase content, and if the device is Android-based and powerful enough, we can pretty easily convert our games to support the device. And I knew there are a lot of women using these devices, just from my understanding, and that fit perfectly with the audience that we're targeting as casual game developers. So we were there, like the moment you announced it, we were pretty much ready. And I think we participated in the very launch, or just a few weeks later, like
Right.
November 2011. Yeah.
I remember those days, the early Android, API 10, Gingerbread. Anybody remember those Android days? And the Android's come so far, especially the games. Can you elaborate a little bit? You talked a little bit about a reading audience. Was there any tipping point in your success where you said, aha, okay, I'm really, and you guys were at the forefront before in-app purchasing was really a thing, right? And how did you see Amazon customers in particular really seeing success and engagement as you distributed those games?
Yeah, we started with bringing our premium games to Amazon, and it worked really well, actually. Not like spectacularly well, but we got the incremental revenue that we aimed on having. But what was really interesting is that whenever we put the game on a giveaway, there were a lot more downloads. So we just thought, like, there are so many people out there, for some reason they maybe don't like the premium game format, but we are getting just crazy downloads, even early on when the platform was just launched. So a couple of years ago, we did this pivot, whatever you call it, to the free-to-play games, and I think the Secret Society became our big breakthrough. The game was launched on other platforms, but then earlier last year in 2014, on Amazon, and pretty much since shortly after launch, it was number 1 to number 4 on the top grossing games. And I think that was the best way to monetize this audience. We, now looking at it, we see that Amazon customers, they're really high value. It's a little bit difficult to crack, the code and get them to pay. But once you're actually getting them to pay, you can expect a really nice returns. And I think, at least our experience, I've heard you have games of other genres really successful as well. But I think we found our target audience of, predominantly female audience that's into reading, who enjoy good storyline, a challenging puzzle, and who are willing to spend a lot of time playing the game, and they feel good about spending money on content, turns out. So yeah, we're really happy with the results. And right now, basically, whenever we have a successful game, Amazon is a must-have platform in our portfolio.
Awesome. Great to hear. Alf, same type of question for you. What have you seen generally? What are the themes, especially over the past couple of years, that really separate Amazon customers from what you would normally see in an Android customer for games?
Okay. So it sounds like a two-part question. I think the first part is, we've done a lot of cool stuff in the last 3 years. We've launched, a bunch of tablets. We launched a phone. We launched a couple of TV things. We started making games. We do this Echo thing. We bought Twitch, right? So we've been doing all kinds of great innovative stuff around the games industry, and we're super committed to the space, and we're super committed to delivering for gamers and committed to game developers. As for our customers, we have 270 million engaged, active Amazon customers around the world. Are there any Amazon customers in the room here? There must be more of you guys. Come on. Yeah, so lots of Amazon customers. Usually Amazon customers are super happy with their engagement with us. They're loyal customers, and I think that as our retail customers start to use our app store more and more, what we find is that, as Val has pointed out, they're super engaged. They're very high value. And more importantly, they're growing, right? So a lot more Amazon customers are coming in. A lot of them are starting to engage in our app store. And G5 does a great job in reaching out to a lot of our casual customers. But I also like to call out that we actually have a lot of core gamers that's starting to grow within our ecosystem. And games like Hearthstone, Brave Frontier, Game of War, and so on and so forth that you might perceive as a much more hardcore game, are doing very well on our platform and engaging our super high-value customers. I'll share a little bit more information later, but the ROI is actually quite good for these core gamers.
Awesome. Can you elaborate a little bit too? I talked a little bit about coins and other things around there. Can you talk a little bit about coins and how you've seen engagement with games? One of the things that I didn't mention earlier that Vlad also mentioned was the free app of the day.
Yeah.
Too. How have we seen that? How have you seen the promotions in the store and Amazon customers respond to that?
So coins are free app of the day. I'd use them differently to reach different customer base. Free app of the day. If you not know when we do this, we've given away over $17,000 worth of games in the last games and apps in the last 3 years or so. And you get a free app. That's usually a premium app or a game every day. We just give these things away, but we still pay the developers the 70%. We just gift it away.
Yeah, if you have an Android device, make sure you're just going to Amazon once a day. You'll get a free Android app or game every day.
And Coins is the other program that we launched not too long ago. And Coins is actually particularly interesting. Dave talked about it a little bit earlier, but it's effectively a way for gamers to buy more value into the store at a discount. So nominally it's about 10% discount if we don't run any special programs. So this is particularly useful for core games and core gamers who tend to be very rabid. They get on the social forums and say, hey, Hearthstone's offering some kind of deal on Amazon.com. Let's go and buy a bunch of packs there. Or Gumi's running a special with us on Coins. And you see a huge migration of these hardcore gamers coming to us. And once they start to monetize, they monetize even better. And they just keep spending and spending, which is a great thing for you guys.
Awesome. So the audience sat through and saw kind of the ecosystem. They saw the devices. Vlad's talked a little bit about his company and the success they've seen, and they've heard from you around how we promote games. You're working with a lot of these top publishers, so you're there in the weeds, Alf.
Yeah.
What can you say about the actual publishing process? We know that 75% of Android apps and games we tested just work. What's that process like for the audience to submit? What tools do we give them, and what have you actually seen during that process with publishers?
Okay. It's actually fairly simple. You walk through it in a few slides there. You go to the dev portal, you put in your game and so on and so forth and submit it through that process. My 13-year-old kid actually made a game and submitted it, and I watched him do it.
Awesome.
He was watching Twitch, playing a game on his PC. Actually, he was playing FIFA on his phone, and in the midst of doing his homework. He did all this like in one evening. Anyway, that's a 13-year-old kid. The more important thing I think is if you're launching a game on Amazon, I think there are three things that you really have to sort of vector in. I think the first thing is that if you're launching an Android game, really try and launch it the same time with us as you do on Google Play. That just enables us to make sure that we leverage any of the marketing that you have and also to make sure that we push a game and reach those Amazon customers early, and not have to force them to migrate later to our platform. Second is to engage with our marketing team and our tech teams early, just to make sure that your games know when it's coming. We put in the right featuring, so on and so forth. And lastly, I think an important thing for us to consider is to keep the dialogue going with your customers, either through coins, free up of the day, or whatever it is, just to keep engaging them so that they keep coming back and spending on your game. We launched a game recently with a top developer. We engaged them fairly early, and they launched at the same time as Google. And they experienced all those things. We did marketing with them at the launch, co-marketing. They marketed with us. We featured them. They worked with our tech teams, so there were very little tech issues that they had to deal with. And we also ran a lot of campaigns with them after they launched, Twitch campaigns, coin promotions, things like that. And it was very, very successful for them. While we had 10% of the download of Google, our revenues were actually head-to-head with Google during the launch period. So it's quite impressive. But you have to do these things to be successful.
Right. Awesome. I think that speaks to a lot of the engagement with Amazon customers with games. Vlad, same question for you. You've got 69 games in the store now. How was the publishing process?
It was actually smooth, and I think one of the best processes the developer can experience. It's really easy. Like if you brought your game, for example, from iOS to Android, there's no reason not to have an Amazon version, because it's quite easy to do everything needed. And then the devices are great. I mean, if you looked at the devices, they all have high definition screens, really nice displays, and basically when you bring your game to these devices and you just look at the game, and it just works pretty much. You don't have to make any adjustments most of the time, especially for us. I mean, a lot of our games are specifically made for tablets, so that's, if we have a large color screen of a high quality, we're just happy. The interface of the device, actually, you can probably see it outside. The one thing that really attracted our attention, that was really focused on consuming the content, and that's a little bit different, I think, to other devices, is that you're like, the user starts, they unlock the screen and they get into the store, basically. So we liked it as a developers a lot. And then the review times are really reasonable. So we had a great experience with that, and the team's been very helpful. I can only say good things, and unlike some other platforms, you actually get to have a person who you can ask, like, how can we speed things up through review, for example, if we have a deadline to hit, and there's actually a human being to talk to you. I don't know if anyone's been through such stresses, but we've been in some situations when
If you're a developer, you have, yes.
yeah, like you have to have this out like on this day, and you just can't do anything about it at all. So yeah, it's been great. I think you're just doing a really excellent
Great.
job working with
That's
developers.
awesome to hear. I mean,
we felt like Amazon's being a partner to the developers.
Great.
Really great partner.
And you have a publishing arm too, right, Vlad? You have. Could you say something about that? If there's any studios that are interested in working with G5?
Yeah, thanks for asking. We are actually, a big part of our portfolio is licensed from third-party developers. That's how we scaled the business also, is that we brought our games to, we had this vision in the beginning, like 5 years ago, that casual gamers will migrate to smartphones and tablets and will spend time playing their casual games on these devices. So that's why we started bringing our own casual games to smartphones and tablets, and then we reached out to our fellow developers, and that's how our licensing program started, and that sort of powered the growth of the company. Our early work with Amazon was, and continued work with Amazon is also, it's based on this belief of ours that gamers of all kinds, but our target audience as well, are going to move to smartphones and tablets over time, more and more. So we help developers go to this market, basically. We have accumulated substantial knowledge in free-to-play monetizations. We can advise you on how to build a game that would properly monetize users and retain them. We take care of logistics that developers, we find, especially smaller ones, just hate to deal with, like localization, quality assurance, all these things that take a lot of your resources, but they're not really creative. Then we have quite a substantial install base, about 200 million downloads to date across all platforms. So if your game fits a profile and is aimed at the casual games audience, we can bring your game to in front of many eyeballs very quickly. And we had some really great results with both free-to-play and premium games. So that's what we do. Thanks.
All right, we got room for one more question. I'm going to give this one to Alf.
Yeah.
Vlad had a great, I think, one of our principles at Amazon is customer obsession. And his experience, I think, speaks to that. But another leadership principle we have is being vocally self-critical. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put you on the spot. What do you think we can do better? And maybe what do you think, what are you excited about? Like, where can we be? Where can we take this as this ecosystem continues to expand?
Yeah. I think, pulling in a couple more leadership principles around customer obsession that I talked about earlier, and another one that's invent and simplify. So our goals remain very, very consistent, right? We want to make sure that our customers, our gamers, and game developers are super happy and engaged and making great economic decisions on a platform, making great money on us. And we just want to amp that up. So how do we grow the funnel for you? How do we keep driving ROI? How do we make sure that if you call, we're always picking up the phone? If you send an email, we're always responding, and we'll always just take care of whatever your needs are. So I think that's drives the day-to-day activity that we have, and there's a lot of super cool stuff that we're doing, and we're going to be launching this year and next year that I really want to tell all you guys about, but I can't. But they're super cool, right? So I think that when you think about the things that we've done in the last 12 months, launching devices, going into TV space, buying Twitch, all these things that we're doing, it's all part of a cohesive strategy. It's not just some random stuff that we're doing. So it's really sweet stuff coming along, and I hope to sit here next year and tell you about that stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Alf, and thank you, Vlad, for coming.